All right, guys, got a fun topic today. Do me a favor, please. Hit the subscribe button and the notification button. And remember, if you want to talk, there's a link down below. Today's topic, should you have sex with your ex? Sounds like it's a no-brainer, but actually, it's not a simple yes-no answer. Okay? And I have friends who'd like, you'd always. I'm like, no, I wouldn't. And there's nothing wrong with having sex with an ex, depending on the situation. All right? And this problem impacts women just as well. This video could be for men. This video could be for women. And it is also something that should be a cautionary tale of when not to have sex with an ex. And maybe helps explain why sometimes I see people who end relationships and end up, they're like, oh yeah, we get together once or twice a month and still hook up. And I'm like, with an ex? And they're like, yeah, because the sex is amazing. And I'm like, why would you go back with an ex? But I've done it too. Okay, so we want to dive into that. And, I saw an eye roll over here. Do you have any thoughts on this topic?
I have a lot of thoughts on this topic.
Come on over. All right. So Melanie is going to join. So, and as always, feel free to disagree because who knows where this is going to go. So I'm going to argue the why and when it's okay to have sex with an ex. Mm-hmm. It was an amicable breakup.
Truly amicable, though.
Truly
and
amicable.
You've got to be honest with yourself about that.
Right. And I would argue, and the sex was good.
Yeah.
Or great.
It wasn't good or great.
Right.
Like, you know.
So, let's just say with my first marriage, once I was out of the house, nothing in that world could have enticed me to ever have sex with her again because I realized how bad the sex was once I started having amazing sex. Okay. And we watched Shrinking.
Yes.
And there's two of them hooking up. And why were they hooking up? What was he?
He was safe dick.
Safe dick. And he was also good dick, though.
Yeah.
So the reality is, because I've had people go, no one should ever get with an ex. I'm like, but if the sexual chemistry was there.
And you're truly over it and it was amicable.
Right. Neither of you have any feelings. Then it is just meeting some needs, having some fun, and nothing wrong with that. Now, I had, between marriages, I was engaged and I ended that. And this will come under later. I'll talk why I shouldn't have done that. But she texted and reached out and literally caught me when I had nothing going on and it had been like 2 weeks without sex. So for me back then, that was like a very significant time. Yeah. So I was like, went over. And again, the sex was amazing. It was great, but it was a mistake, and I'll go over why. I had no feelings. I didn't have any issue with it. What else would you add to when it's okay to have sex with an ex?
Oh, man. I kind of feel like those things really cover it. There's a whole lot of...
I just want to make sure there's nothing else.
You know, you might want to also consider whether your ex is truly over something. You don't want to be yanking them around because that can create some problems for you.
Well, that comes into the when you shouldn't have sex with an ex. There's actually a number of times you shouldn't. So, and I think you just hit on the big one. If there is feelings by one of the parties hoping to reconcile or wanting to...
Or even confusion.
Okay, I'll buy that
even
because...
Confusion. I've had a few women that have brought that to the session.
And it doesn't allow clarity. It actually makes the water muddier.
Yes.
Now, the ex-fiancée, she, I think, still had some feelings. And quite honestly, there were none on my part. And like I said, if it would have been a week earlier, nope. If it would have been, but it just hit this sweet spot. And I was like, I literally was doing nothing and it had been 2 weeks. I'm like, sure, why not? and that was a mistake. And I realized it because then she started texting like suddenly. I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. There's no relationship. There's no nothing here. That was a one and done hookup. She didn't see it that way. I apologized to her and I'm like, yeah, this, don't assign meaning. But she still had either confusion and in all fairness, I ended the relationship. There was we'll just leave it at there was a little misbehavior on her part, and I had good boundaries at that point, and I was like, I'm done. And so that's a time, I think, if you let kids know you're doing it, that's a problem if they figure it out, because again, that causes confusion for the kids.
Yeah.
When else might be a bad time?
I got called out by one of my kids at one point. Because he's like, Mom, I could hear you, and Dad. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Yes, we're still getting divorced. So
why would you do that then?
I mean, I kind of wanted to see if it was any better than the last time, and it wasn't. So,
okay. So it wasn't even good.
No, it wasn't even good. But there was a physical need on my part, okay?
Okay. So that kind of goes to, because we got a lot of married guys that are in sexless relationships.
Yeah.
They talk about our vibrator. It's a different... Well,
it's totally different.
Totally different orgasm.
Totally.
And it's... With toys, it's more clinical.
Utilitarian.
Thank you. That was the word I couldn't have come to mind. As opposed to connecting, passionate, more hormone release.
Yeah.
What other might be? For me, it's when shouldn't you? If there is any mental illness on an ex's part.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Yeah. If she's borderline. If she's got if there's been issues.
If there's narcissism anywhere, which
yes.
I know is overused,
but yes, on both sides.
Behaviors there.
Yeah. So it can reignite interest in you and making your life a living hell.
Open you up to some serious pain.
Yeah. Also, guys, if you're separated, pending divorce, there are actually some states where that can screw up the divorce process.
That's true.
And so if you have a highly manipulative or angry person and you end up doing that, they might be able to throw a monkey wrench in the divorce when you're so close to freedom. You have a lifetime of amazing sex with wonderful women once you're divorced. Don't screw it up because you're horny for one more roll in the hay or one last roll in the hay. Also, be aware... I have somebody who's divorcing their wife I'm working with right now. She's like, well, once you stop the divorce, we can start having sex again. And again, their sex is 10 out of 10, excellent. And
but if it's being used as a bargaining chip?
Yeah. If that's all your sex with you is a bargaining chip, you're not actually desirable. And you got nothing else to offer in her particular case. But it's what you do when you've... Like, oh shit, he's divorcing me now after all these years. He's not going to put up with my crap anymore. So, any others you can think of?
I feel like we've really hit it.
Yeah.
All because there's nuance to most of this, and you have to be honest with yourself.
So, if there's no emotional connection and you guys want to get together and get jiggy with it, have at it.
I would say that's more rare than common.
I would say it's a 10% or less situation. Yeah. But it happens, because I have guys, I see all, they're like, oh no, we occasionally, and it's different if it was an ex-wife as opposed to an ex-girlfriend. True. There's different levels of how long and how significant the relationship was. So guys, there you have it. Got any questions regarding relationship issues? Reach out, my contact information below. So is Melanie's, and have a great week.